cast Kathril. Kathril trigger, it's gonna be large. Flying, Death Touch, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Vigilance. Today on Commander Replay, we try to put as many keywords as we possibly can on Kathril Aspect Warper and try to go Voltron, Abzan style. Next on Commander Replay. Hey guys, next time you purchase cards, if you want to support me and my LGS, be sure to check out mothershipatx.com and use the promo code REPLAY to save 15% on your next order. And if you can't find what you're looking for, you can use the TCG affiliate player link. All links are in the description below. Welcome back everyone, playing some Kathril Aspect Warper today. Today's deck list comes to us from GoFundMe supporter Chris. Let's take a look at this opening hand. One land's not going to do it. Let's mulligan that into Mana Crypt. Mana Crypt start, although the rest of this hand is a little awkward after the Mana Crypt, but it's Mana Crypt, so I guess we keep. Hope we draw into the things that we need. So I had the chance to work on this deck with Chris a little while back. I am excited to play it today because sometimes you want to play test the deck after you talk about it for a while and kind of confirm to see that everything you were thinking about is working the way you want it to and all of that sort of stuff. So that's what we're doing today. And we'll see how things go. I may still have a few more pieces of feedback after the game. Kind of interested to get a feel on this one. I don't think I've played Kathril up to this point. If I have, someone let me know, because I can't quite remember. This year has been kind of a blur. But I'm excited to get this going. Hopefully we can get some cool keywords on here. There's some really interesting creatures in the deck, like choices that wouldn't be super obvious that I think are pretty cool with Kathril. And it was also interesting when we were talking about the keywords and which keywords to get and all that kind of stuff with Kathril. Chris actually had a spreadsheet of all the keywords of how everything was broken out to make sure that he had like enough redundancy of the keywords that he really wanted. So can always appreciate a little bit of spreadsheeting to make sure that your deck's doing what you want it to do. So kind of a fun time right there. Anyway, brings us to our turn one. There's a Birds of Paradise, more mana ramp. We're kind of looking for like the drawing or the milling or something at this point. So hopefully we run into that soon. Maybe we'll get lucky and someone will play a wheel or something. Let us see. Yeah, I think let's get a Temple Garden. And let's get this Birds of Paradise. We could cast the Mana Crypt, but we don't need to yet. Save ourselves a flip if we can. So anyway, we are playing Kathril. We'll take a read of it. It's 5 mana for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, put a flying counter on any creature you control. If a creature card in your graveyard has flying, repeat this process for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. Then put a +1/+1 counter on Kathril for each counter put on a creature this way. Yeah. So Kathril cares about keywords. Oh, I should have put Neochroma in the deck. Forgot to do that. Hashtag epic fail. Whoops. We did work on this deck list prior to Commander Legends coming out, so Neochroma probably going to be a pretty cool pickup for Kathril, but maybe we can take a look at that after. There's a Golgari Grave Troll. That's some dredge. Dredge is helpful. How do we get it into the graveyard? That's the next question. I guess we could just play it and have it die. That could work. Yeah, let's do that. So play the Mana Crypt. Play the Cavern of Souls. What creature type is this thing? It's a Nightmare Insect? Guess we choose Nightmare? I don't know the creature types well enough in this deck to know which one I should be choosing. Maybe Insect is more common. I don't know. We'll choose Nightmare. Let's play this Golgari Grave Troll. And send it straight to the graveyard. Perfect. Next turn we can dredge, start getting some stuff in there. Let's take a look at what our opponents are playing, by the way. First up, we have Zach Ryan piloting Karona False God. Should be a good time. Haste at the beginning of each player's upkeep. That player untaps Karona and gains control of it. When Karona attacks, creatures of the type of your choice get +3/+3 until end of turn. So, can lead to some really swingy board states. Interestingly, I worked on a Karona deck with someone earlier in the year, and things that Aurelia likes, Karona also likes because of, you know, the ability for it to attack every turn and the ability for it to hit every turn. So that stuff's kind of cool. There's a Curse of Verbosity targeting Kithron. So whenever the enchanted player is attacked, you may draw a card. Each opponent attacking that player does the same. If we don't have anything to do with the birds, I might go for the card draw this turn. We'll see what happens. Here comes Krark the Thumbless into play. And Kithron piloting Krark the Thumbless partnered with Ishai, Ojutai, Dragonspeaker. They've run this deck out there a few times. You guys will probably be seeing those videos very shortly. I've filmed them over the past couple days. And this is kind of an interesting Jeskai Spellslinger deck. The goal is kind of to copy a bunch of spells with Krark. And eventually Ishai will get pumped up and just kind of be huge and do stuff like that. So it's been a cool little deck. They haven't had a ton of success with it yet, but I think a little more fine-tuning and they might be able to get there and kind of do some cool stuff. So they had a Jeskai Ascendancy in play the other day, and that's always kind of a fun card. So yeah. And then our final opponent is Vevictus MTG piloting Muldrotha the Gravetide. And they've got themselves a Lotus Cobra and now a Signet into play, so getting that mana ramp going. And Muldrotha, always a little scary. Bring back any permanents from your graveyard. Just, it's a lot of value. The one way to really get to a Muldrotha deck is like either repeated removal or just kill them really quickly. And I don't think our deck has really either of those tools at its disposal, so that may not be the best time for us. It brings back to our turn. Mana crypt flip. Let's go, Tails. Lost the flip. We'll dredge. We're going to dredge right here. Mill 6 cards. What did we hit? We hit a land. Grizzly Salvage. Another land. Kunaros, Hound of Athreos. There's some keywords that we like. Kind of a cool one. It's got a lot on it, especially for 3 mana. Got a Sun Titan. Ooh, that's kind of one we want. Ooh, we could reanimate a Sun Titan. Reanimating a Sun Titan is something I'm all on board for, because that gets us a lot of ramp. Also, Splendid Reclamation at the graveyard, so I'm not going to be able to get those lands back super easily, but Sun Titan can get the job done. What are we doing this turn? So I want to draw, so we'll attack with the birds, and I think we just reanimate the Sun Titan, maybe sit on reanimate. Well, we could cast the Grave Troll again, but it'll just stay in play if we do. But maybe just to have something in play. Play this Polluted Delta, crack this Polluted Delta. Let's get the Bayou. Hope there was a Scrubland in the deck. Could have gotten that one earlier. Oops. Let's reanimate the Sun Titan. Because, yes. I do love me some Sun Titan. Sun Titan, bring back a land. Go for the Isolated Chapel. The choice here is we could cast Grave Troll or we could cast our Commander. Our Commander is only going to get 3 keywords at the moment. I think we can do a little better. Yeah, so we'll just go for the Grave Troll, I guess. Comes in as a 1/1, so, you know, shouldn't be too hard to get it killed. We can hope. We'll attack Kithron with the birds. Send the message, draw the card. Not actually sending the message. Just wanted to draw the card. There's a Fetid Heath. We played a land yet? We've already played a land, so we'll pass like that. Trigon Predator coming into play. A card that's usually very scary against me, but right now we have surprisingly little in the way of artifacts and enchantments. Just the Mana Crypt, which, you know, I'd love to hang on to the Mana Crypt, but, you know, usually I've got a board littered with artifacts, so Trigon Predator, always a little bit scary. I know it's a little bit slow, but the second you get 2 triggers out of it, it's a pretty good card. It's also good as a 3-mana 2/3 flyer. It's lost a little bit of value over the years. Rex Sage definitely takes that spot in the deck a lot more of the time now. And, you know, there's certainly a lot of ways to abuse ETB triggers, but if you're not a hugely ETB-based deck, or, you know, if you're just putting a deck together based on some things lying around, Trigon Predator is still a very solid card. And from what I've seen, it usually still gets at least one thing. Kind of one of those more old-school Commander-type cards that you would have seen a lot more like, you know, 8 years ago or something like that. Krark the Thumbless, swinging over their way. Interesting. Maybe they've got some pump effects on board. Yep, there's Fist of Flame. Ooh, they've drawn 3 cards. It's going to get Trample. Some potential it's going to copy itself. It did not. They lost the flip, and it went back to their hand. Bummer. Here's a question. Would I generous gift our own Grave Troll? Oh, we can remove a counter from it to regenerate it. Yeah, we're going to do that. Okay, so put a stop on our upkeep. Perfect. Everything is lining up beautifully. Oh, yeah, that's an Underrealm Lich. I hear those are good. I hear those are really good. Brings it back. A Mana Crypt flip. Let's try heads this time. Lost the flip again. Ouch. Should have stayed tails. Whew, down to 21. Man, that reanimate. Feeling that a little bit. All right, stopped on our upkeep. And we will regenerate Golgari Grave Troll. And then we will go to our draw step and dredge the Golgari Grave Troll. What do we get? Nethro. Nethro is a cool card. Also, the lifelink could be good. Death Touch. Eternal Witness is a... Ooh, Eternal Witness is a really good card. Ronas is a really good card. Yeah, we hit some stuff. Play this Fetid Heath. So it probably makes the most sense to, like, get... Ooh, yeah, we can get Eternal Witness into Splendid Reclamation and go kind of wild. Ooh, oh, you know what we can do? We can put lifelink on the Sun Titan. Yeah, let's cast our Commander before we do all this. That seems like a really good idea. Because we are bleeding life. Kathril coming into play. Trigger? Maybe we just stack up the Sun Titan. Yeah, let's stack up the Sun Titan. So Death Touch, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Vigilance. I guess we could have put Vigilance somewhere else. Whoops. Kathril now an 8/8. Yeah, that all seemed really good. Does that have Trample? No Trample, so they would just... You know, even if they block with that and lose 4 life, that's, like, not the worst thing. So, let's try that. Send the bird to Kithron. Keep drawing the cards. We draw a Glissa the Traitor. Cool set of keywords there. Get the Eternal Witness into play. Get back the Splendid Reclamation. Greater Good's kind of good, too, though. Ooh. I'll go Splendid Reclamation for right now. Opponent takes a hit. We go back to 27, gaining that life back. Really good idea. We've got 1 mana up, not much we can do with it, so we'll pass. So we did get the early mana crypt this game, so keep that in mind for what we're seeing, but things are going really well right now. I wasn't expecting to have this much success right out of the gate, but it is Abzan graveyard stuff, and that's just a strong archetype. Yeah, so far I'm really liking what I'm seeing. The next thing we need is a sack outlet, and then we can really get wild. Setessan Champion coming into play. Constellation. We are wide open to a Trigon Predator. I did just notice that. Oh, Parasitic Impetus. Nice. He did say this was his Impetus deck before the game. So Sun Titan's going to get +2/+2 goaded, so it must attack an opponent other than him. And whenever it attacks, its controller loses 2 life, you gain 2 life. So it's something. Keeps him safe for a little while. Not going to be great for opponents, though. Yep, Trigon Predator coming our way. Probably going to eat our mana crypt. Not much we can do about it. Trimming back our mana, at least for a little bit. We will probably Splendid Reclamation, which will... Yep, all those things happening right now. But yeah, we'll try to Splendid Reclamation and put 1,000,000 lands into play. Telling opponents, I think I underestimated this deck a little bit. I didn't think it would be this wild this early, but again, the mana crypt, but also Dredge. Maybe I should have known better. Oops. It is tough to evaluate other people's decks when you haven't played them. Like, if it's an archetype I'm comfortable with, sure, I can get a feel on it just by looking at it, but I don't play so much Abzan, so knowing exactly how strong it is relative to what I'm trying to convey to my opponents and what decks they may bring, not always the easiest for me, but just one of those things I hope to get better at over time. The more decks you play, the more you can kind of figure out how strong something is just by looking at it. Quark is a 7/2 Trampler. Yeah. Sun Titan's still indestructible, though, with lifelink. Probably don't want to send it our way. Fire Diamond for opponent. Opponent can attack Kithron, try to get that card draw. Yep. Eternal Witness for opponent. What are they getting back? They're going to get back a Incubation Incongruity. That does have an exile target creature mode on it. That's not the best. Might be losing our Sun Titan real soon. Oh, Sun Titan going down. Exile target creature, we get a frog. No good. No good. Well, Sun Titan did some things. It did some real things. Unfortunately, we've kind of lost all of our keywords. Brings it back to our turn. There's a Mythos of Nethroi. Destroy target non-land permanent if it's a creature or if Abzan was spent on it. I don't think there's anything we really need to blow up in this moment. Yeah, let's just play the Splendid Reclamation. We get a whole bunch of lands into play. We have ramped. We have ramped. Let's do some attacking. Send the big one over to Vevictus. We'll send the 3/3 over to Kithron. Yeah, I guess that's what we're doing. We'll draw. Basara, Tower Archer, Hexproof, and Reach. Opponent's going to block. Opponent's also going to block, so not getting any damage through right here, but we did get a card draw out of it. And maybe next turn, I don't know, maybe we think about a Cleansing Nova and just blow away all the creatures, because we kind of want to recast Kathril again. Archon of Sunsgrace coming into play, yeah. Seems good with a lot of enchantments. Opponent gives opponent a spirit with the land. Not that land. That land. Forbidden Orchard. Rhystic Study coming in. Yeah, there's the card draw. Trigon Predator our way. No blocks. Preordain for opponent triggers a whole bunch of things. We only have one artifact in the graveyard right now. Like, we could cast Glissa before a board wipe to get Mana Crypt back, but we've ramped good enough that I don't think it's worth throwing Glissa under the bus for that. Now, one of the choices I made earlier, we went for the Splendid Reclamation. We could have gone for the Greater Good, and, like, that Greater Good probably ends the game, and, like, I'm aware of that. I don't like what Greater Good does as a card. I think it's way too strong. It's just way too easy to draw through your deck and, like, go absolutely wild. And I get it in, like, a more cutthroat setting, sure. But I think in this case I did underestimate the power of this deck a little bit, so opponents are, struggling to kind of catch up. So I didn't want to, like, just slam the door on, like, turn 4 or 5 or whatever that was. So not a lot of love for Greater Good right here, which is why I didn't go for it. But strategically, it's probably the one that you want. We kind of need a sack outlet. Like, a sack outlet would be more ideal than Cleansing Nova on creatures. Although Cleansing Nova on creatures is not terrible, but it's also, like, it's fine. Because the other thing, too, is, like, artifacts and enchantments. There's a Rhystic Study and a Sylvan Library. Those things can beat you. Repeatable card draw and the Curse. Maybe we think about blowing up Rhystic Study. It kind of does a lot. Swings the Underrealm Lich over to Kithron. Card draw. Blocks with the Spirit. So that brings it back to our turn. We draw, Life from the Loam. Probably going to wait on that just a second. Let's do some attacking. We'll send the big one over to Kithron. Send the small one over to Vevictus. And we'll send that one their way too. Since I'm going to board wipe. We don't have a sack outlet right now, which would be probably the most ideal thing. A Skullbriar. Fun card. That's one way to get haste. Since There's a few ways to get haste in green, but there aren't tons and tons of them. See how opponents want to block. I wonder if they'll sense the board wipe incoming, or if they just feel like we're playing really aggressive. Cool, damage is going to get through. Love it. Opponents go down to 28, 8 commander, and 18. Let's Cleansing Nova on all creatures. Rhystic Study will trigger. We'll have to get that next turn. Opponent's going to cycle a brand. Yeah, you got to run those now because Thieving Skydiver steals all your artifacts. Opponent's going to make their Underrealm Lich indestructible. They have to pay the life for it, so even though they're still going to have the creature, 14 is pretty low. They have a counterspell? Nope. They just untapped a land. Like a professional. Back to the command zone. Recast our commander. Nope, we got to sack some fetches. Get the scrub land. Crack this one. Get a Savannah, I guess. Did I miscount? Oh my god, I miscounted. Well, that's unfortunate. I guess we're playing a bunch of other things this turn then. Let's get Glissa. You know what we can? How much do we have? We have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can go like Glissa, shoot the Rhystic Study. That seems like a reasonable idea. Can't believe I did that. Whoops. Click done. Shoot the Rhystic Study. I guess we can pay the one. Let's get this Skullbriar in. And we'll pass like that. The one I would love to get back if we could get our Nethroi back. That would be sweet. Karona False God coming in. Yep. Here comes the aggro. And there's a Mana Crypt. Gonna put a shiny Impetus on it. Yeah. It's goated and we'll make treasures. And it's a 7/7. I would block with the Skullbriar because then we can get our commander back with haste. And that should be pretty cool. Here it comes. Oh, the problem is... The problem is our life is gonna get really low. Maybe we take this hit. It's a 10/10. Well then, we might die to this Karona. I guess we block and hope someone else doesn't attack us. Down goes the Skullbriar. I wish I got another blocker into play. People may recognize him as the threat just because he has a lot of mana and a lot of cards and like card draw on board. Plus, Karona is just scary, so it'll be interesting to see how people want to use Karona and who they perceive as a threat. They would not be wrong in perceiving us as the threat, but there's a chance that all this going on over there is also very scary. The problem is, the thing that I'm looking at now is like that Cleansing Nova actually looking kind of bad. Because we had a lot of blockers on board that we could have just left back and, soaked up all this damage, but Sentinel Tower for opponent, yep. Oh, nice. They're going to swing into Vevictus. Wants no part of the Muldrotha deck. I probably would have swung back at... Oh, right, he can't. He can't swing at Zach Ryan because it's goated. It is goated. Good thinking. Good thinking. Ooh, nice. Opponent's going to play a Swift End on the Karona. That's probably the best thing that we could hope for. Now, it'll probably be back next turn, but that actually works out really nicely. We get to survive. Yay. Murderous Rider is a really cool card, I do have to say. Probably one that you could put in this deck, I think. It's naturally a creature, right? Like if it's not in play, I think that's how it works. Still confused about those adventure cards. I never read the little rules blurb that they usually put out when a new set comes out. I should probably do that. But yeah, that's both a kill spell, a creature, and has lifelink on it, so could be solid for this deck. Enlightened Tutor for opponent. Big thing this turn is we'll want to make sure we have extra blockers because of Karona. Also, we'll probably get a good chance to find out if saying the word Karona gets this video demonetized. Because if you say the second word that usually follows the word Karona, then I believe that most definitely will get you demonetized. There's Muldrotha into play. Oh yeah, the silliness about to start. So like, tough choice right here of like, do we try to take them out? I'm worried about what the Karona deck's gonna do, but, Muldrotha's kind of that known scariness, and they've been milling for quite a while. They've got a stacked graveyard, so there's Lotus Cobra back. Yep. Yeah, I think we have to. And then we take our chances with Karona. There's some boots. Boots are nice. Cast Kathril. I guess we could also leave up Generous Gift. Do we have flying yet? I don't know if we have flying. Yeah, those are birds in the graveyard. Kathril trigger. It's gonna be large. Flying. Death Touch. Indestructible. Lifelink. Menace. Vigilance. Yeah. Oh, we can put them to 1. I still think we gotta do it. Wait, does it not have haste? Where's Skullbriar? Oh, we should have totally just played the boots. Actually, on the other hand, it's Death Touch indestructible, so no one will probably attack into it. Okay, I guess that all works out. Generous Gift, yeah, let's just Generous Gift Muldrotha then. I guess we'll wait, be professionals about it, but till Kithron's end step, but we should probably shoot the Muldrotha. Does it not trigger for haste? Repeat this process for First Strike, Double Strike, Death Touch, Hexproof, Indestructible, Lifelink, Menace, Reach, Trample, and Vigilance. There's no haste. It doesn't check haste. Wow, that's surprising. Okay. Maybe that removes a little bit of value from Skullbriar, although it itself still having haste is a thing that can be very reasonable, I think. I'm not saying don't run it, but I think it loses some value, that being the case. Did not realize that. I mean, the cool thing now is that we have like a giant indestructible lifelink death touch blocking wall. So it will be tough to get through that. A swords would do it, but they do have to have it. Oh, that's a Locust God. Speaking of other things that are difficult. Do we get trample? No trample. Ooh. The Locust God is also a prime target. Oh, is it Glenalendra in the graveyard? Oh, I don't think I want any of that. Oh, no thanks. Do we just have to take our chances with the Locust God then? Beduran Enchantress. Fun. What do we do now? Ooh, Ghostly Prison. Rough. And they're going to draw a card, and they're going to make a blocker. We could shoot this. Oh, this is not great. None of this is great. We're probably going to have to hold the Generous Gift, because, like, we don't have tons and tons of removal. Nope, going to poke with one over. Okay, so that removes a blocker. Going to get that card draw. Oh, yep, that'll make another one. Yeah, that seems good. Seems really good. Oy. Right now, my plan is hope that an opponent wants to shoot the Locust God, because the Locust God. Ooh, Whirlwind of Thought is very strong. Opponent's pretty far behind on lands. 1, 2, 3. They've only made 4 land drops. It's turn 8. They do have Mana Rock in play, but they're behind big time. I think we're at 10 lands. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're on 10 lands. It's now turn 8, so the turn count is catching up to our massive burst of mana from a few turns ago. So, like, Zach Ryan, I think, is pretty close to us also. He's on 9 lands with a treasure, so, yeah, we're about tied. And he's got more onboard draw effects and just... He's got more tricks on board. Locust God's very strong. Ghostly Prison is nice. We've got just, like, one giant beat stick that is missing Trample. Trample is a thing. Opponent going straight to combat. Well, this is interesting. Could be on Rift mana. I guess we'll want to try to play around that. Underrealm Lich into Kithron. Triggers the curse. Triggers the Locust God. Yep. Blocks with the Spirit. Landfall Lotus Cobra. Glenalendra. Gross. That's a really powerful card. We can remove a counter from it. We just attack into them. That's something. But the fact that they can continuously bring it back is a thing. Odric Lunarch Marshal, you say? Well, that's interesting. I'm still looking for Trample. Let's see if these Swiftfoot Boots get countered. Let's put Boots on our commander. Opponent's got feelings about that. Oh, they're going to Assassin's Trophy. You know what? It's indestructible. I'll take the ramp. Let's get a forest, I guess. Comes in untapped. We ramped. Yeah. Love it. That's an easy mistake to make. It's a matter of checking all the keywords on it and forgetting that it has indestructible. Easy thing to do. Let's get Odric Lunarch Marshal into play. That'll leave us with 4 mana. Ooh. Was hoping to Life from the Loam, but I want to sit on this Generous Gift, even though it may or may not get countered. We could cast one more creature. It would come in with haste. I don't think it's worth it, though. I think it's worth trying to use the Generous Gift. Because, like, if we use it on a Locust God, I don't think they would counter it, so. Odric Trigger. Gets a million keywords, including haste. I'm going to send this over to Vevictus, and then we'll send this to Kithron. Oh, there's the Haunted Cloak. Oh, man, we needed that this turn for the trample, but now it's an exercise in needing to survive for a turn. Well, probably more than one turn, but if Karona hits play, maybe less than that. Although we'd probably want to shoot the Karona. Yeah, opponent's going to block. They scooped. It says he can't block flyers. He's at 10. You know, he doesn't necessarily know where they were going to attack, though. I would have stuck in there for a moment. Now the problem is... Okay, so we can Generous Gift. The question is, what do we Generous Gift? We're back to 30. That is a much healthier life total. Do we try and cut off the Locust God, or we just have to stop Karona because we can't stop Karona? Oh, if we get Karona, though, that seems so good. I don't know, we'll... Oh, man, Sylvan Library. I think I'm going to Generous Gift the Locust God. The Locust God just comes back, though. But it doesn't come back to the end step. Yeah, I'm going to do it. There's a Sylvan Library. Think we got to do it. So Locust God goes down, but it will come back at the end step. They get a token in the meantime. Opponent's sitting on a ton of cards, though. 12 in hand. That does pump up the flyers. That is a concern. Forbidden Orchard. Kithron. Oh, it's the Mob Rule. Got us. Oh, he got us with the Mob Rule. Oh, man. That card. So good. So good. Are we going to survive? If he gets his commander, we don't survive, I don't think. But Maybe we will if he doesn't. I don't think he has 30 on board. Ooh, he's going to control magic our Odric. Eey. Gross. We'll still get our commander back, but now it's going to... Oh, it's going to spread all those abilities, so they're all going to have indestructible and lifelink. Cool. Odric trigger. Everything our way? Yep. Are we going to survive? I have not done the math. Survived at 3. Nice. Hope Kithron doesn't have a lightning bolt. Fevered visions. Yeah, Zach is officially a problem now. He is very far ahead. Locust God coming back. Fevered visions trigger. Our commander does come back, thankfully. Young Pyromancer into play for opponent. Yeah, that's going to be pretty good with what they're doing. Zach said he couldn't figure out the final 3 damage. Swiftfoot boots got him. Nice. The boots saving us. Glad we made that play. Would love to get our Odric back, though. Right now, I'm not seeing a way to do that. Uh-oh. Cleansing Wildfire, you say? Trigger Sentinel Tower, trigger Whirlwind of Thought, trigger Young Pyromancer. Oh, any target? That's any target. One more spell, and... Oh, they're not going to kill us. They must feel like they don't have a way through all of Zach's shenanigans. They will draw a card with the Whirlwind of Thought, and they'll get to do some damage to their face. So shoots the... What land was that? Crosenverge. Doesn't want them ramping anymore. The best thing right now might be a reanimate spell to get back Eternal Witness to cast Cleansing Nova, blowing up artifacts and enchantments. That might be the most ideal thing. Thought Vessel coming in for opponent, draws another card. Odric trigger. Oh, they're all going to have... No, they just have Flying and Haste. Whew. Man, he's got a Ghostly Prism. We're going to have to pay for that. Opponent draws a card at the end step. Oh, Ketra the True, you say. Kind of wish we had that double strike in the graveyard. Oh, Ketra won't be able to attack. Play the Haunted Cloak. Trying to figure out if it makes sense to send a second creature in. I don't think it does because we're going to need blockers. We are probably going to get overwhelmed pretty hard right here. Put the Haunted Cloak on Kathril. Odric trigger. Yep. Send it in. We need to pay 2. Use that one and this one, I guess. We go back to 12. They go down to 28, 9 commander, but we're pretty exposed. Them having our Odric is pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I guess we play... I think we try to get Glissa and Basara into play. Get Basara Tower Archer. Get Glissa. Hope for the best. Gem Razor, you say. Reach and Trample. When it mutates, destroy target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. If we survive, that could be helpful. We have First Strike? We don't. First Strike would be... Well, would help a little bit. Double Strike is really the one we want right now. Double Strike would be a lot of life gain, but... Yeah, I mean, I think if they go Karona and just pump the insects, we're in a pretty bad spot. He has a lot of mana. There's Karona. There's Xeris. Oh my. They'll all get haste, by the way. Because of the Odric. Mesa Enchantress coming in. Vow of Flight. Yup. Sword of the Animist. Karona getting pumped up. Goes to combat, Odric trigger. Everyone's got flying and haste. It's going to be a problem. Yep, everything our way. Oh, I don't know if we can survive this. Don't know if we can survive this. We effectively have 19 life because of the lifelink. Oh, the insects are 5/5s though. Oh yeah, that's bad. Okay. Here's my goal. I'm gonna block Karona with the tower guy. Because I don't want to kill the Karona, because the one chance we can potentially get him out of here is if the rest of us get a shot with Karona. And then, who's the next biggest one? The next biggest ones are the insects, but the other question is, do we try to kill our Odric? Because we could potentially reanimate it. You know, it would be better for us on our side than it would for them on their side. Let's just line this up. I guess we have to do the math. It's 1, 5, 9, plus 15 is 24. And then 25 doesn't seem good. Doesn't seem good at all. I mean, I guess if we die, then they'll lose the Odric. Yeah, I think blocking Xeris is still the best. If we die, it's not going to be by 1, so... Unless, of course, it is by 1, and then I'll be terribly disappointed. Oh, yeah, we went down. -8. Zach's got my vote. Let's see if Kithron's got something for him. We left the door open with keeping Karona alive. Can he sneak it out? There is a Ghostly Prison, which is a little bit annoying. They don't have a lot of mana. They kind of missed a lot of the mana production, so... One's going to Shelter on the Young Pyromancer. Triggers all the stuff. There's an Elsha. That's interesting. Only 1 mana left, though. That's not going to be enough to win it, and... Oh, yeah, he just scoops it. Doesn't have the answer. Yeah, Zach Ryan getting there. Showing us what's what with Karona the False God. Nice job by them. Tricky plays, stole our thing. Mob rule was big. That cut our life total down. We would have been much healthier had that play not happened. Also, they would have been less healthy because they gained like 10 life off that. So Oh god, Zach had awful stuff in his hand. Vampiric Tutor, Treachery, Locust God, Steel Enchantment. Gross. Okay, looking at this deck. So this deck is a little bit tricky. I don't play tons and tons of Abzan, and the Abzan decks that I'm more comfortable with are the ones that have been around that you've seen a lot. Carador I have a pretty good feel on. Nethroi I've built a few times, have a pretty good feel on that. Kathril is a little bit different. This is one that's going to take a little bit more trial and error. I think getting all your keywords balanced out the right way. One thing I did note, the last time we had looked at this deck, I did think it was a little bit removal light, so I do want to take a peek at that right now. And we did run into some removal in this game, and I probably could have held it a little bit longer, which is all certainly true. But the places that I use removal, I felt like were pretty solid choices. Locust God and Rhystic Study. Those are definitely cards that can beat you, so. The one questionable one was the Cleansing Nova. Could we have gotten away with not using Cleansing Nova right there? I don't know. Because we did need to recast our commander and kind of get everything going again. We didn't have the sack outlet to do it. Might be a cause for more sack outlets in the deck. Okay, removal-wise, not too bad. They may have added some cards since the last time I looked at the deck, so 10 pieces of removal is okay. I'm usually on about 12 these days, and I think the thing that we can look at in this deck is getting some creature-based removal because of reanimation and stuff like that, so. The two cards that I didn't care for were the Tower Archer does seem maybe a little bit cute. It's not saying that it can't work, because Hexproof is certainly a very good keyword to have on Kathril. How many other sources of Hexproof do we get? I don't know if there's that many. Yeah, let's look up green cards with Hexproof. Hexproof, creature, and green. What are our options? Paradise Druid. I think I would rather go that one. I don't know how that one works. How does that one work when it's in the graveyard? That one may not work. I'd have to look at that. Fine Mare, kind of underwhelming. Carnage Tyrant, already in the deck. Does Majestic Miriarch work with Kathril? It probably does not. Oh no, they took it out. Plated Crusher was in this deck for a little bit. So Plated Crusher, Trample and Hexproof, is essentially Carnage Tyrant without the can't be countered, and it costs just one more than Carnage Tyrant, which is kind of cool. But, I might go that way instead of the Tower Archer. I know it's a 7-drop, but the Plated Crusher as a 7/6 can just give you a little bit more as a body in the game, where the 2/1 later in a game is just going to be terribly small. So Thrun the Last Troll is a good place to get Hexproof. That's a cool card. Also, Troll Ascetic, kind of cool too. So yeah, the Hexproof options aren't mind-blowing in green, but yeah, I think I was a little bit underwhelmed by the Tower Archer, because if it's not in the graveyard, it's just not giving you much. So let's make a pile of stuff that I would cut. I think the Tower Archer, the fact that Kathril doesn't check haste on Skullbriar, I think makes Skullbriar a cut. Oh, missed piece of removal. Gem Razor is removal if you mutate it. So these are the two cuts right here. These are both creatures. I do want to keep the creature count higher in this deck, and that's a question to you guys that have played this deck more than me. What is the ideal creature count for Kathril? This was at 25. I'm going to try to keep it at 25. I think I really like what I saw from Murderous Knight, because that's a lifelinker and it's a removal spell if it's in your hand, so I think that's all pretty good. Definitely like some more of that. You could go for an additional removal spell if you wanted. The thing that I think we could have used maybe a little bit more of is Double Strike. Double Strike Lifelink would have gotten us out of that jam because we would have been gaining life, although potentially when it got stolen, it may have also gotten us killed. That's a thing too, but let's see. If this were my deck, I would probably run Necrotal, a card that I somehow have 0 of in my collection. Yeah, I would probably run Necrotal. It's got First Strike and it kills non-black creatures. Seems like it's pretty good to me. That's something that I would probably do. But you really have a lot of options with this last card slot. Let's see if there's like some non-creature stuff we can take out. I think that's the next bet. One thing to consider too, like a lot of instant and sorcery based removal, you could look at just getting more creatures in there. Rex Sage would not be terrible. We've got Acidic Slime, which is the classic. Maybe a touch more card draw in this deck too. Yeah, I did think the card draw was a little bit weak. You have many, many options in Abzan. You can go for green based draw if you like green based draw. A Rishkar's Expertise, never bad, especially if Kathril's getting a bunch of counters on it. And then you could do something like a Moonlight Bargain if you want. That's a card that I like a lot for decks like this because you can choose which cards you want to put into the graveyard, which ones you want in your hand. If you draw all of them, it is 10 life, but it's not terribly hard to get lifelink in this deck either, so might look at a little bit of extra card draw. Man, there's a few other things I want too, like I really want another sack outlet in the deck. We can get one in the lands. We can add a High Market pretty easily. Add a High Market in case you have to recast your commander. What can we take out? Find the land you like the least, but I'm just going to cut a forest for now. Then, what else are we doing? Angel of Destiny is flying in double strike, and that's pretty sweet. This deck does not have OG Akroma in it. I would probably run that just because I like it. I'd probably run the new one too. I'd probably run all these guys. That Akroma and where's the other one? I want the correct art. This Akroma. So we know it doesn't check haste, but it definitely checks flying, first strike, vigilance, and trample. So that's 4 keywords. Besides the fact that it's just like good late in the game. That is a lot of 8 drops though, although you're not casting all of them, so there's that. Yeah, there's like a lot of things I want to do with this deck, and there's just not a lot of deck slots, so that's the balance issue with this deck. The other thing I was thinking about too along the way, so talked about it, maybe another sack outlet or 2 could be good, and the other thing is maybe like an oversold cemetery or something. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you have 4 more creatures in your graveyard, you may return one from your graveyard to your hand. I think something like that could be pretty cool, because I really wanted to get the Eternal Witness back. If we got that back, we could have done a lot more things. So something like that. What to cut? Ugh, it's tough. All of these cards are very good. There are not bad cards in this deck, so it's tough to figure that out. Here's a question. How well is this deck set up for Birthing Pod? I'm not sure. Would have to play through it more. How badly do you need a Chromatic Lantern? It's nice. It's definitely not awful. They have fetches and duels, though, so I don't know that they necessarily need a Chromatic Lantern. You could probably go down to Chromatic Lantern. We're still a bunch of cards over. I have no idea what I'm cutting to get down here, but so there's my questions to you guys that have played more Abzan and especially played more Kathril is what should the creature count of this deck be and how much removal are you guys aiming for? Those are my questions and those are the things that I kind of key in on, and then you kind of figure out like how many card slots can you devote to everything else. So that's kind of my main advice for this deck. Pay attention to the creature count. Pay attention to the removal count. All in all, I think the deck played really well. I thought we did really good. I think we just got outplayed a little bit by the Karona and just the power of the Locust God making a bunch of tokens, the power of Karona to pump up the team, them stealing our Odric and making everything huge and flying. I think we just got outplayed a little bit. We definitely did a lot early in the game, and then, maybe that Cleansing Nova wasn't the best. I don't know. So, anyway, there's a few little changes you can make to the deck, and be sure to sound off in the comments if you have additional feedback as well. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, feel free to comment, like, or subscribe. Thank you for watching. I want to thank my awesome Patreon supporters. We have 2 new Patreon supporters in Zappangu and Mango. Zappangu and Mango, you guys are awesome. If you want to help support the channel and vote on which decks I play next, feel free to check out my Patreon, the link below.